The envelope felt colder than the air in the mausoleum. Elias Thorne had been dead for 72 hours, and here we were, his grieving family, huddled in a library that smelled of stale cigar smoke and old lies. I wasn't supposed to be here, I'd been disowned a decade ago, but the executor, a man with eyes like polished flint, insisted. He placed the heavy, cream-colored envelope on the mahogany desk. It wasn't sealed with wax, it was stapled shut, violently. Elias was specific, the lawyer muttered, glancing at my brother, Julian, who was nervously tapping his signet ring against a crystal glass. He wanted you all to see the contents at the exact same moment. I felt a prickle of static on my skin. Elias didn't leave money, he left traps. As the lawyer tore the paper, I noticed Julian's knuckles turning white. He knew something. He had been visiting the old man every Sunday for months, claiming it was for care, but the bank statements I'd intercepted told a different story: massive withdrawals, millions vanishing into shell companies. The lawyer pulled out a single photograph and a key. It was a picture of the garden shed at the estate, taken at night, with a shadow looming near the locked door. The lawyer's voice dropped to a whisper. Elias wanted to remind you that some things buried in the dirt never actually rot. He slid the key across the wood toward me. He left this to you, Sarah. Specifically you. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died. A heavy thud echoed from the hallway, followed by the unmistakable sound of a bolt sliding into place from the outside. We were locked in. Julian stood up, his face pale as parchment, and turned toward me. "Give it to me, Sarah," he hissed, his voice devoid of the brotherly warmth he used to fake. "You have no idea what's in that shed. If you use that key, you aren't just opening a door, you're ending us all." I looked at the key in my palm, then at the shadow moving beneath the heavy library door. The shadow beneath the door wasn't human, it was too long, too jagged, like a blade dragged across the floorboards. Julian lunged, but I was faster. I'd spent 10 years running from this family's influence, and I wasn't going to let them control the exit. I scrambled toward the side cabinet, grabbing a heavy letter opener. "Stay back, Julian," I warned. He didn't stop. He crashed into me, and as we tumbled, the key skittered across the floor, sliding perfectly into the ventilation grate. We both froze. The thudding in the hall stopped. The heavy, suffocating silence that followed was worse. Then, the voice came through the vents, my father's voice, recorded, mocking. "If you're hearing this, the timer has started. The money you stole, Julian? It's not in a bank. It's underneath the floorboards you're standing on right now." The floor groaned. I realized then that the house wasn't a mansion, it was a vault. The first twist hit me like a physical blow. The inheritance wasn't a fortune to inherit, it was a ledger of crimes to be confessed. The second twist came when the lights snapped back on, revealing not a killer in the hall, but a camera rig pointed directly at us, broadcasting live to the probate judge. The third, and most devastating, was the note taped to the back of the photo I'd ignored. It was in my mother's handwriting, dated the day she supposedly died in the accident I blamed myself for. She hadn't died, she'd been the one helping Elias build the vaults. Julian wasn't trying to stop me from opening a shed, he was trying to hide the fact that our mother was still in the house, watching us through the walls. I looked at the camera, my reflection distorted in the lens, and realized the game wasn't about money. It was about redemption, or total erasure. I reached for the floorboard, not for the gold, but for the truth. Whatever was under there, I was ready to face it, even if it burned the entire legacy to the ground.